Question 1. When must you use dipped headlights during the day? C. When you're driving in poor visibility. You must use dipped headlights when daytime visibility is seriously reduced, generally to 100 meters, 328 feet, or less. You may also use front or rear fog lights, but they must be switched off when visibility improves.
If you want to pass DVSA theory test in first time, you can download our EOS app. App contains 2500 DVSA test questions, 250 hazard perception videos, 630 traffic road signs and 300 highway code rules. Even 98.50% people pass their test first time after using our app. You can find link in the description. Download app for free from App Store, which contains latest 2024 material licensed by DVSA authority. Get 3 days free trial for a limited time. Let's get back to the video.
Question 2. You're driving a friend's children home from school. They're both under 14 years old. Who's responsible for making sure they wear a seatbelt or approved child restraint where required? C. You, the driver. Passengers should always be secured and safe. Children should be encouraged to fasten their seatbelts or approved restraints themselves from an early age, so that it becomes a matter of routine. As the driver, you must check that they're fastened securely. It's your responsibility. Question 3. What's likely to happen if you put too much oil in your engine? C. The oil seals will leak. Too much oil will lead to increased pressure in the engine. This could damage oil seals and lead to oil leaks. Any excess oil should be drained off. Question 4. You have to make an unexpected journey. You're carrying a 5-year-old child on the back seat of your car. They're under 1.35 meters, 4 feet 5 inches, tall. How should you seat them if a correct child restraint isn't available? D. Using an adult seat belt. In journeys of unexpected necessity, and when a correct child restraint isn't available, the child must sit on the rear seat and use an adult seat belt. In a collision, unrestrained objects and people can cause serious injury or even death. Question 5. You're carrying an 11-year-old child on the front seat of your car. They're under 1.35 meters, 4 feet 5 inches, tall. What seatbelt security must be in place? C. They must use a suitable child restraint. As the driver, it's your responsibility to make sure that children are secure and safe in your vehicle. Make yourself familiar with the rules. When children are carried on the back seat, there are a few very exceptional cases when an adult seatbelt can be used instead of a correct child restraint. Question 6. When must you stop your vehicle? D. If you're involved in an incident that causes damage or injury. You must stop your vehicle when signaled to do so by a police, DVSA or traffic officer, traffic warden, school crossing patrol, red traffic light. You must also stop if you're involved in an incident that causes damage or injury to any other person, vehicle, animal or property. Question 7. What does this sign mean? C. Trams crossing ahead. This sign tells you to beware of trams. If you don't usually drive in a town where there are trams, remember to look out for them at junctions and look for tram rails, signs and signals. Question 8. How will your journey be affected by traveling outside the busy times of day? B. Your journey will have fewer delays. If possible, avoid the early morning, late afternoon, and early evening rush hour. Doing this should allow you to have a better journey, with fewer delays. This should help you to arrive at your destination feeling less stressed. Question 9. You're in a tunnel and you see this sign. What does it mean? C. Direction to an emergency pedestrian exit. If you have to leave your vehicle and get out of a tunnel by an emergency exit, do so as quickly as you can. Follow the signs directing you to the nearest exit point. If there are several people using the exit, don't panic but try to leave in a calm and orderly manner. Question 10. When may you stop on a motorway? C. In an emergency or breakdown. You shouldn't normally stop on a motorway, but there may be occasions when you need to do so. If your vehicle breaks down or there's an emergency, stop on the hard shoulder and use the emergency telephones to call for assistance. Question 11. What's the national speed limit for a car or motorcycle on a motorway? C. 70 miles per hour. The national speed limit for a car or motorcycle on a motorway is 70 miles per hour. Lower speed limits may be in force, for example, at roadworks. Variable speed limits also operate in some areas when the motorway is very busy. Cars or motorcycles towing trailers are subject to a lower speed limit. Question 12. What does this sign mean? A. Route for trams only. Avoid blocking tram routes. Trams are fixed on their route and can't maneuver around other vehicles or pedestrians. Modern trams travel quickly and are quiet, so you might not hear them approaching. Question 13. What should you do when you see this sign at a crossroads? A. Carry on with great care. When traffic lights are out of order, treat the junction as an unmarked crossroads. Be very careful and be prepared to stop. No one has priority. Question 14. You're driving on a country road that has no pavement. What should you anticipate finding on your side of the road? D. Pedestrians. On a quiet country road, always be aware that there may be a hazard just around the next bend, such as a slow-moving vehicle or pedestrians. Pedestrians are advised to walk on the right-hand side of the road if there's no pavement, so they may be walking towards you on your side of the road. Question 15. What's the nearest you may park to a junction? A. 10 meters, 32 feet. Don't park within 10 meters, 32 feet, of a junction, unless in an authorized parking place. This is to allow drivers emerging from, or turning into, the junction a clear view of the road they're joining. It also allows them to see hazards such as pedestrians or cyclists at the junction. Question 16. What should you do if you have to stop while you're going through a congested tunnel? B. Keep a safe distance from the vehicle in front. It's important to keep a safe distance from the vehicle in front at all times. This still applies in congested tunnels, even if you're moving very slowly or have stopped. If the vehicle in front breaks down, you may need room to maneuver past it. Question 17. What must you do when you see this sign? B. Stop even if the road is clear. Stop signs are situated at junctions where visibility is restricted or where there's heavy traffic. They must be obeyed. You must stop. Look carefully before moving off. Question 18. Who should obey diamond-shaped traffic signs? D. Tram drivers. These signs apply only to tram drivers, but you should know their meaning so that you're aware of the priorities and are able to anticipate the actions of the driver. Question 19. How much can stopping distances increase in icy conditions? B. 10 times. Tire grip is greatly reduced in icy conditions. For this reason, you need to allow up to 10 times the stopping distance you would allow on dry roads. Question 20. What hazard should you be especially aware of if you're turning left into a side road? C. Pedestrians. Make sure that you've reduced your speed and are in the correct gear for the turn. Look into the road before you turn and always give way to any pedestrians who are crossing. Question 21. How will a school crossing patrol signal you to stop? A. By displaying a stop sign. If a school crossing patrol steps out into the road with a stop sign, you must stop. Don't wave anyone across the road and don't get impatient or rev your engine. Question 22. You're traveling in very heavy rain. How is this likely to affect your overall stopping distance? A. It will be doubled. The road will be very wet and spray from other vehicles will reduce your visibility. Tire grip will also be reduced, increasing your stopping distance. You should at least double your separation distance to make sure you can stop safely in the space you've allowed. Question 23. What does this sign mean? C. No stopping. This is the sign for a clearway. Clearways are stretches of road where you aren't allowed to stop unless it's an emergency. Stopping where these restrictions apply may be dangerous and is likely to cause an obstruction. Restrictions might apply for several miles, and this may be indicated on the sign. Question 24. You're approaching this roundabout. What should you do when a cyclist is keeping to the left while signaling to turn right? A. Allow them space to turn. Cycling in today's heavy traffic can be hazardous. Some cyclists may not feel safe crossing the path of traffic to take up a position in an outside lane. Be aware of this and understand that, although they're in the left-hand lane, the cyclist might be turning right. Question 25. What does it mean if you see a pedestrian with a dog that has a yellow or burgundy coat? D. The pedestrian is deaf. Dogs trained to help deaf people have a yellow or burgundy coat. If you see one, you should take extra care, as the pedestrian may not be aware of vehicles approaching. Question 26. You're going through a long tunnel. What will warn you of congestion or an incident ahead? D. Variable message signs. Follow the instructions given by the signs or by tunnel officials. In congested tunnels, a minor incident can soon turn into a major one, with serious or even fatal results. Question 27. At an incident, someone is suffering from severe burns. How could you help them? C. Douse the burns with clean, cool water. Your priority is to cool the burns with clean, cool water. Its coolness will help take the heat out of the burns and relieve the pain. Keep the wound doused for at least 20 minutes. If blisters appear, don't attempt to burst them, as this could lead to infection. Question 28. There's been a collision. A motorcyclist is lying injured and unconscious. Why should you only remove their helmet if it's essential? B. Removing it could make any injuries worse. When someone is injured, any movement that isn't absolutely necessary should be avoided, since it could make the injuries worse. Unless it's essential to remove a motorcyclist's helmet, it's generally safer to leave it in place. Question 29. What does this sign mean? C. Give way to trams. Obey the give way signs. Trams are unable to steer around you if you misjudge when it's safe to enter the junction. Question 30. What might you expect to happen in this situation? B. Traffic will move into the left-hand lane. Be courteous and allow the traffic to merge into the left-hand lane. Question 31. What may help to deter a thief from stealing your car? C. Etching the registration number on the windows. Having your car registration number etched on all your windows is a cheap and effective way to deter professional car thieves. Question 32. You're traveling along this road. How should you pass the cyclist? C. Leave them plenty of room as you pass. Allow the cyclist plenty of room in case they wobble or swerve around a pothole or raised drain. Look well ahead before you start to overtake, because you'll need to cross the hazard line. Look for entrances where vehicles could be waiting to pull out. Question 33. What should you do if a vehicle pulls out in front of you at a junction? C. Slow down and be ready to stop. Try to anticipate what other drivers might do. Look and plan ahead so that you're ready to respond safely if a hazard develops. Be tolerant of road users who make mistakes. Question 34. You're driving on a motorway. What does it mean if the car in front shows its hazard warning lights for a short time? D. Traffic ahead is slowing or stopping suddenly. If the vehicle in front shows its hazard warning lights, there may be an incident, stopped traffic, or queuing traffic ahead. By keeping a safe distance from the vehicle in front, you're able to look beyond it and see any hazards well ahead. Question 35. What does this traffic sign mean? C. Danger ahead. This sign is there to alert you to the likelihood of danger ahead. It may be accompanied by a plate indicating the type of hazard. Be ready to reduce your speed and take avoiding action. Question 36. What's the meaning of this sign? D. Waiting restrictions. This sign indicates that there are waiting restrictions. It's normally accompanied by details of when the restrictions are in force. Details of most signs in common use are shown in the Highway Code. For more comprehensive coverage, see Know Your Traffic Signs. Question 37. You're driving at night and looking for somewhere to park. When may you park on the right-hand side of the road? B. When you're in a one-way street. Red rear reflectors show up when headlights shine on them. These are useful when you're parked at night, but they'll only reflect if you park in the same direction as the traffic flow. Normally you should park on the left, but in a one-way street you may also park on the right-hand side of the road. Question 38. You're approaching a busy junction. What should you do when, at the last moment, you realize you're in the wrong lane? A. Continue in that lane. There are times when road markings are obscured by queuing traffic, or you're unsure which lane to use. If, at the last moment, you find you're in the wrong lane, don't cut across or bully other drivers to let you in. Follow the lane you're in and find somewhere safe to turn around and rejoin your route. Question 39. What does this traffic sign mean? B. Give priority to oncoming traffic. Priority signs are normally shown where the road is narrow and there isn't enough room for two vehicles to pass. Examples are narrow bridges, roadworks, and where there's a width restriction. Make sure you know who has priority, don't force your way through. Show courtesy and consideration to other road users. Question 40. When should you use hazard warning lights? D. When your vehicle has broken down and is causing an obstruction. Hazard warning lights are an important safety feature and should be used if you've broken down and are causing an obstruction. Don't use them as an excuse to park illegally. You may also use them on motorways to warn traffic behind you of danger ahead. Question 41. What can you do to reduce environmental damage caused by your vehicle? A. Avoid making a lot of short journeys. Avoid using your car for short journeys. On a short journey, the engine is unlikely to warm up fully and will therefore be running less efficiently. This will result in the car using more fuel and emitting higher levels of harmful emissions. Question 42. How should you use anti-lock brakes when you need to stop in an emergency? C. Brake promptly and firmly until you've stopped. If you have ABS and need to stop in an emergency, keep your foot firmly on the brake pedal until the vehicle has stopped. When the ABS operates, you may hear a grating sound and feel vibration through the brake pedal. This is normal and you should maintain pressure on the brake pedal until the vehicle stops. Question 43. You're driving at night. What should you do if you're dazzled by a vehicle behind you? C. Set your mirror to the anti-dazzle position. The interior mirror of most vehicles can be set to an anti-dazzle position. You'll still be able to see the lights of the traffic behind you, but the dazzle will be greatly reduced. Question 44. What's the purpose of triangular-shaped signs? A. To give warnings. Triangular signs warn you of hazards ahead. Make sure you look at each sign that you pass on the road so that you don't miss any vital instructions or information. Question 45. What does it mean when a moving vehicle is showing a flashing amber beacon? D. The vehicle is slow moving. Different colored beacons warn of different types of vehicle needing special attention. Blue beacons are used on emergency vehicles that need priority. Green beacons are found on doctors' cars. Amber beacons generally denote slower moving vehicles, which are often large. These vehicles are usually involved in road maintenance or local amenities and make frequent stops. Question 46. How can you reduce the environmental harm caused by your motor vehicle? C. Keep engine revs low. Engines that burn fossil fuels produce exhaust emissions that are harmful to health. The harder you make the engine work, the more emissions it will produce. Engines also use more fuel and produce higher levels of emissions when they're cold. Anything you can do to reduce your use of fossil fuels will help the environment. Question 47. Some two-way roads are divided into 3 lanes. Why are they particularly dangerous? C. Traffic in both directions can use the middle L. If you intend to overtake, you must consider that approaching traffic could be planning the same maneuver. When you've considered the situation and decided it's safe, indicate your intentions early. This will show the approaching traffic that you intend to pull out. Question 48. What should the driver of the car approaching the crossing do? C. Slow down and get ready to stop. Look well ahead to see whether any hazards are developing. This will give you more time to deal with them in the correct way. The man in the picture is clearly intending to cross the road. You should be traveling at a speed that allows you to check your mirror, slow down and stop in good time. You shouldn't have to brake harshly. Question 49. Your insurer will issue you with an insurance certificate. When must you produce this document for inspection? A. When a police officer asks you for it. You must produce a valid insurance certificate when requested by a police officer. If you can't do this immediately, you may be asked to take it to a police station. Other documents you may be asked to produce are your driving license and the vehicle's MOT certificate. Question 50. What does this sign mean? A. Maximum speed limit with traffic calming. If you're in a place where there are likely to be pedestrians, for example, outside a school, near a park, in a residential area or in a shopping area, you should be cautious and keep your speed down. Many local authorities have taken steps to slow traffic down by creating traffic calming measures such as road humps. They're there for a reason. Slow down.
If you want to pass DVSA theory test in first time, you can download our EOS app. App contains 2500 DVSA test questions, 250 hazard perception videos, 630 traffic road signs and 300 highway code rules. Even 98.50% people pass their test first time after using our app. You can find link in the description. Download app for free from App Store, which contains latest 2024 material licensed by DVSA authority. Get 3 days free trial for a limited time.